viewers, now it's time for a bit more walking the show floor then, taking another little tour and a few more stands. Let's see what I could find. So another of the titles that's being shown today is, of course, The Crew. We featured that quite heavily in some of our content from Gamescom, and it's one of those games we're looking forward to for next year. Certainly the build you're seeing is still very early. It's very similar to the E3 build. It just kind of throws you in there, gives you an idea of the map, and has a quick sort of multiplayer session. But it's one of the titles we're most excited about. Some people have questioned the handling. We're going to discuss that on a later video, but handling so far seems to be reasonably intuitive. It takes a little bit of getting used to initially, but after that it really comes together, a bit like Driver San Francisco. I was dreadful at first, and then it all came together afterwards. So potential is huge for this game, and it's one we'll keep an eye on. So next one that has to be pointed out is a Surgeon Simulator. We can see here amazing YouTube videos have circulated with the previous Surgeon games, and you can see here people struggling to operate. I'm sure you can do a perfect operation with this, but certainly it does seem to be very difficult. It looks like everyone's got numb hands, and yes, that patient doesn't look too healthy there. It's one of those games. I've got to try some of these out. I mentioned recently we covered a little bit of the train simulator on our Gamescom coverage. Farming simulator, street cleaning simulator. I've got to find a reason to show this on VVV. It has to be done at some point, if only to do something, anything. There has to be wheels in it. I'll find something. But we'll have a look at some more games now. Let's see what else we can find. And note has to go to the alien operation as well. It's a delicate business. You can see here when you take your laser cutter, lightsaber type thing, and that's gone now. So we're not going to be using that anymore in this operation. Okay, so a bit more of the Sony stand then. Let's go on here now. Queues are still very long, of course. Still probably a good 30 minutes to get on there, but you'll be able to play all the new PS4 titles. We'll pop on and take a look at some of those. So from that to Killzone viewers, which is also taking place on my left there as well. You've got lots of guys and girls in there having a good game on that one. There's a few new interesting titles. Another game I'm not all that aware of course, is War Thunder that we see here. We'll film a little bit of this, see if we can get some footage at some point as well. It's a flight simulator for PS4, and we've got some footage on that, and you'll see that on the channel in one of our cuts from the show. Certainly it looks like an interesting title at this stage, and it shows the ambition, the potential of flight sims on these new consoles. Let's see what else is on the stand. So behind me then you've got the Sony indie area, showing some of the indie titles coming out, probably PS3, PS4. PS4, it's a scene they want to grow, so certainly it's something they're working towards. It's become a bit of a battleground for the two developers actually, and Phil Harrison's taking it on board in terms of the Xbox One. Certainly it'll take time though, but the potential is good for indies in the future, because it's nice to have creative developments, but it is very expensive making a big modern video game these days. Of course, here we see as well Beyond Two Souls here as well, looking really good at the moment, as well one would expect from the developers of Heavy Rain. It's got lots of potential, so we'll be keeping an eye on that. And then across over to our left again here we see Need for Speed Rivals. And again, this is one we haven't covered too much at the moment, but it's certainly something we'll look to get some coverage on in the future. So of course behind me you see Need for Speed Rivals as well. This is a game that we're looking to cover at a later date. Certainly we haven't managed to get any access to it this time, and not a great deal of filming from even the show here today, but we're speaking to EA and we're trying to get you guys the news on this title. And so far as well, the Frostbite engine is looking good. There's lots of detail there, and hopefully we'll have some more coverage on the channel very soon. But let's take a look now, see what else there is at the show. We've got Dark Souls 2 here, looking good, great graphics, amazing visuals. It's going to be really hard, I expect, like the original. In a way, some people found the original too difficult at times. I think it's the difficulty curve, trying to make it a little bit easier for people, a little bit more obvious how to get by. We have a cosplay zone. I haven't seen any of the cosplay here this year, sadly, but I'm sure it was brilliant. Certainly the cosplay's come on miles in the last few years. It's a big show, and remember this covers a couple of halls as well, so there's lots to look forward to. And of course there's a strong indie gaming presence you can see here they have at the show, sponsored by Sega. We'll pop in, take a look, see what there is inside. And so that's where we have to leave it. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get into the indie arcade area. It was a little bit too cramped to get some filming at that time. There's a lot of people in there, but there's certainly lots to explore, and it's nice to see the indie development scene being supported by the show, as well as some of the retro elements as well. There'll be more to follow on the channel, but as ever, there'll be more from me very soon.